And we are live. Oh wait. Why? Game? Oh, there it is. Delay there. Okay, we're playing Autopsy Simulator. Because I'm weird. And I like dead people. I guess. I tried it a little bit. Just to see if it worked because there was some stuttering and shit. So we fixed that. Didn't get very far, like not even 2 minutes. So let's do this. It's 1991. That's when I was born. It's the best year of them all. Okay.
Office of the Medical Examiner, Beatsville. Dr. Jack Hampton is speaking. How can I help you?
Good evening, this is Kate Brooks. I'm not sure if you remember me. A few weeks ago, we talked about an article I'm working on. It's about your wife. I dropped by last Friday to speak to you, but you weren't working at the time. I asked the security guard to pass on a note for me. I would like us to discuss the topic of...
I thought I had made it painfully obvious. For the last time. No! Please don't call me again and stop inquiring about my wife. Damn journalists. They don't let me work. God damn it. I'm not in the best frame of mind to record a lecture for my students now. I'm feeling completely broken. Where did I leave my meds this time?
Okay. I'm gonna turn the sensitivity up a bit. Maybe even more. Better. Okay, let's have a look.
Awful. It would be good to finally repair the coffee machine. I guess it was in another life.
Okay, so that's his wife. So she died.
Wednesday. It's not my favorite day, although it's certainly better than Monday.
What are you, Garfield?
He won't be needed for the next few months. Stephen didn't clean up after himself again.
Hi, this is Kate Brooks. Can I... Okay. A reporter for the New Orleans Weekly. I couldn't find you at home. I'm starting to suspect you are avoiding me, Mr. Hanman. Anyway, as you know, we'd like to write an article commemorating your wife's achievements. We would be delighted to talk to you about it. Along with this note, I'm also leaving my business card. Let me call you this evening. I hope to find you at home or at the office. Okay, so it's not like they're writing a bad thing about his wife.
They definitely pay me too little for this.
So,
Not very comfortable, but suitable for night shifts.
you sleep here? You don't even, like, clean up? No? This place looks awful.
I work with corpses, but I don't have to smell like one.
You live here? Maybe I have high standards, but how to break out of this vicious cycle? Well, the best way to start, I would say, is to stop doing what you're doing and do something else. Okay. Another person
Another
gone missing.
kidnapping this month.
Serial kidnapper. New Orleans Police Department has received another missing persons report for an unidentified female, making it third this month. How can you get a missing persons report for someone you don't know? Isn't the whole point? I'll get you. What? The whole point that you know who's missing, so you file who's no? Analysis of animals traces in forensics. There's like its weird filter going on. I turned the blur off though. There's this weird filter going on. If it annoys you guys, let me know and I can turn it off by the next stream. It's there's a film grain and the chromatic aberration, which I have no idea what it does. But whatever.
Okay.
This is how
Pull
far I
myself
got. Just to show you guys, I didn't go far. Just to test it
Get
out.
back to work.
Can I get
I've
some
already
more?
taken my pills. Not looking to overdose.
That's the worst looking brush I've ever seen. You cannot brush your hair with that. Okay, this place is disgusting. Extra, yeah. There are gonna be spookies in here. Like I know there's a story, but I don't know if there's like if it's a scary game or is it more like a
Let me just
CSI?
have the camera first. Let's hope I'm not caught short this evening.
Social room. Is there? No, okay.
This place is starting to look like a hoarder's dream, rather than a storage room.
Oh, this whole place looks like it's disgusting. Okay, wait, let me look around first. Oh no, the kitty is there. She has announced herself. You're beautiful. That's what you're gonna do. I already gave you food, so you cannot be asking for that. And I've already cleaned your litter boxes.
Now remember, Jack.
I have done my
Don't forget
humanly
hit the
duties.
record button this time.
The cat owner duties. You're doing the tail shaky thing again? You're so weird. You're so weird and adorable and I love you. Okay.
Hopefully the new tripod is going to hold up.
This is how big cameras were, people. Back then you didn't do it on your phone. You actually had a
Now,
device
I just
for
have
it.
to get everything in frame.
Okay, oh yeah, by the way, there's naked people here. You can actually turn off the nudity censorship.
This should be fine. November 20th, 1991. Time, 8:43 p.m. Recording for medical students from the University of Missouri. This
also
autopsy
wanna
is conducted by Jack
open up a
Hammond.
body?
Hello, everyone.
jeez.
Welcome to the autopsy room.
just a
Today,
second.
you will have the dubious pleasure of following a full autopsy, step by step. For those of you who have already performed your first autopsy, this will refresh your basic knowledge. In turn, for those whose knowledge is only theoretical, I advise not to watch this after a meal.
Okay, you heard him. Do not watch this after a meal. Okay, I closed my sweater just so you could sit on my lap on the sweater. Will you please do this instead of being all cutesy pootsy? We'll just look around like this for a second because I only have one hand. Wait, I can. Okay, we have a Toby Chambers. That's Toby Chambers over there with his dick hanging out. Here we can like weigh his organs, I guess. Dissect stuff. You're purring like crazy. You're like a little purr machine. Here he is. He's a man.
Scalpel, scissors, syringe, magnifying glass, knife. I guess I forgot to clean the knife.
So should you not? I mean, I know the dude's dead. Shouldn't your stuff be
Scalpel,
sterile?
scissors,
No, apparently not.
syringe,
Okay.
magnifying glass, knife. I guess
Does
I
it
forgot to
matter?
clean the knife.
If you're like dissecting, if you're looking at a court map, well, maybe if it's for like CSI and shit, because it can't contaminate evidence. That's his wife again. Okay, his
I
computer.
wasn't sure it would amount to anything, but the World Wide Web has been a blessing for speeding up my work.
Dear God, man, have I got news for you? In the future, things will be even more so. Do I have to? Okay, you need to turn. Okay, no, I thought. No. No, I can't really do anything.
Poor soul. I get cases like this more than any other.
What? What?
Poor soul. I get cases like this more than any other.
I'm looking at a microscope. What are you talking about?
My old but trusted centrifuge.
That's
Ideal
like the
for all the
spinny
fluid
thing,
tests
right?
I need to perform during an autopsy. A considerable collection.
Okay. Okay, so I need to look at the chalkboard. I'm looking at the chalkboard. Or this chalkboard. No, Oh, that chalkboard.
Let's start.
Tell students what is important. Okay, we're making a film for the students, not like a professional. We have to look at this body kind of thing. Okay.
Always wear an apron, mask, and gloves. Goggles are a must when the job is splashy. And in case of sharp accidents, it's worth having disinfectants at hand. It's true that you won't get ptomaine poisoning straight away, but if your liver or kidney aren't doing well, you may end up with diarrhea.
Wow, you're more like the most riveting
The
professor.
cadaver is placed on its back on the autopsy table. The pathologist stands on the right of the deceased. Make sure that all the necessary tools are always at hand so that you don't have to run around looking for something, like I do all the time. In the process of revealing and securing forensic evidence, it is difficult not to interfere with the original condition of the deceased. Written and photographic documentation plays a vital role throughout the entire examination process. During your research, be patient, inquisitive, but above all, attentive to detail. Many entries are visible at first glance, but sometimes they can be cover for more interesting stories. And lastly, remember that nothing teaches you self-narration like working with the dead. So get used to that fact soon. Everyone will think you're talking to yourself.
Can you just imagine this? He's making this video for his students, and he's just staring at this board, and the camera is looking at his butt, pretty much, like a dead body and a butt, and he's staring at this.
In the process of reviewing
no,
and
I get it.
securing
It's
forensic evidence, it is difficult not to interfere with the original condition of the deceased. Written and photographic documentation
good.
plays a
Shut
vital
up.
role throughout the entire examination process. Now, onto the police folder. That will contain all sorts of The deceased's name is Tobias Chambers.
Why am
locally
I
known as
receiving
Old
this?
Toby. Homeless
It's
and
stupid,
unemployed
whatever.
for at least a couple of years.
Seems like I'm the kind of person that looks far too much into shit like this. So it already bothers me that the person that's doing the autopsy gets to see all of this detailed information of an ongoing investigation.
The deceased was found on the outskirts of a parking lot at a gas station, where he often begged and persistently offered drivers to wash their car windows.
Okay, interesting.
The body was noticed by a station employee during the morning shift. Initially, he thought that someone had thrown some boots and a coat in a nearby ditch. It took him a moment to recognize the pile of clothes as the body of a man.
Yeah, I like the fact that they make it blurry when you have not read it.
Signs of libation were found around the body. Empty bottles, traces of an inept attempt to start a fire, and a scattered makeshift blanket.
Okay, and we have to check if it was a natural death or if he was murdered. Wait, was that not all? Oh,
He worked most of his life at the local port dealing with unloaded cargo. He was fired for being drunk and starting fights.
he's the homeless
his
guy
son
that
runs
lives
a hardware
around.
store on his own. His wife left him years ago. They both had no contact with the
Gas station.
deceased. That's it. It's worth remembering the context around the scene of a death. This allows you to better interpret any traces found on the body. I shouldn't start the procedure without gloves.
although I do think if it's a suspicious death that they would ask you to come to the scene first. So that you can examine without disturbing the body, I would think. Okay, gloves. 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 Gloves.
It's been a while since the eye wash in this thing has
gloves.
changed. It's probably a health hat. Now it's our turn to take some pictures
just
for
been
our
lying there.
files.
They're
If I
not
can just
sterile
remember where
or
I left the
anything.
camera. It's in here somewhere.
Oh, not that camera. Another camera.
A considerable collection.
This is like a thing to wash your eyes. Oh yeah, emergency eye wash. Okay, camera. That's a food.
Aha! There you are.
Oh my
I knew
god,
it
it's
was here somewhere.
Polaroid.
As
They
I
had more
mentioned at the
advanced
beginning,
cameras than that.
before we begin the internal examination, we need to document the cadaver and the condition it arrived
Because
in.
Polaroids,
we
they
begin
don't
with a full body
last
photo.
very long.
Try and stick to the
like the
top-down
pictures
rule.
itself.
But this is not always possible. Let's keep in mind it's all about the legibility, not the perfect frame.
So what do I... a general photo. Do I... like that? Oh.
Voila. Now we move on to the next step.
Oh yeah, just
looking for traces.
perfect shot.
Take your time. Look at the corpse from different sides, from different angles, up close, and from a distance. You're looking for anything
how do
out
I
of the
turn it away?
ordinary.
Do I... That's a mark.
Poorly healed wound. Looks old. I'll take a closer look later.
Here's knee. Oh. There's clearly a wound there. It's not... Ah! Ugh! Sorry, I have a problem with icky feet. Frostbite.
Some wounds in the feet and signs of frostbite. Probably because the subject's shoes were too small.
You don't get frostbite from small shoes. Fingers also have frostbite.
Hardened hands, worn out by physical work, and frostbite?
Was it cold? Do we know this? Oh, and a blunt force trauma on the head. Blunt force trauma? I'm gonna be so smart
That's
if it is.
something interesting. It will be necessary to check whether this injury was severe enough to cause damage to the brain. In a moment, we will check which of our initial observations will be worthy of further consideration. But before we get to that, I need to write down some basic data.
On the board. Write things down. Oh, cool. Cool. That's a head. Yes, those are feet. Check. Stomach. Check. Hand. Check. So in case we don't know which body part is which, we can check this out. Okay, now I have to do the autopsy. Okay, let's get the knife.
Scalpel, scissors, syringe, magnifying glass, knife. I guess I forgot to clean the knife.
Yeah, it's nasty. How do I start the autopsy? So, unlike the mortuary assistant game, from what I can tell so far anyway, this is not prepping the bodies for burial, but like actually digging in. So, just so you know. Am I supposed to do something here? I find it funny that he just takes feet, but not like frostbite or whatever. Same here. Okay. Oh,
Personal
okay.
information. The deceased was unclothed. Date. Okay. As you can see, I note everything down on previously prepared forms. Every pathologist must keep a detailed record of every step of the autopsy. This not only allows you to track the procedure, but also collates the results together, upon which you may back up your conclusions. So, enough of the boring prep. Let's begin by taking a closer look at the spots I photographed earlier. For this, you're going to need a magnifying
Nice.
glass.
Just sitting on top of him like that. Inspect the areas of concern with the magnifying glass.
Which spot first? It looks like a burn mark. No doubt painful, but it's not pertinent for this case.
You need to note it down. Oh?
Here we can see frostbite on the fingertips. We can tell by the characteristic skin color.
Don't we also need to look at his back, or do we do that later? Well, the blood.
I can confirm the presence of ecchymosis on the deceased man's head. The appearance indicates the intravital nature of the wound. Add alcohol, which I can clearly smell, and this was an accident just waiting to happen.
Well, he was naked, though. Why would he be naked?
Definitely a painful mix of frostbite, abrasions,
Oh, no, God,
and
this over there as
blisters. Old Toby had been wearing shoes too small for him for a very long time. That's if he wore any at all. So far, there are a lot of superficial wounds, but only one serious injury to the head. Let's go back to our notes.
Shift.
First, I mark the location of the injuries and make note, even though this type of wound, the head wound, were not in frost season. If Toby's body was cold for a prolonged period, the frostbite could have resulted from the body's defense reaction. The safety of the internal organs is more important than fingers, nose, or ears. As you can see, we don't have much to go on. Let's write down what preliminary causes of death we can think of.
What is the possible cause of death? The head
Various
trauma?
types of accidents are a common cause of death among the homeless and the elderly. Perhaps old Toby slipped and accidentally hit his head. Considering the conditions in which he
yeah.
slept, his body may have become hypothermic. The nights have been
That's the
particularly
same.
nasty lately. We will check if there are any signs of freezing internally. This is of no interest
And
to
yeah,
us. Since the deceased clearly smelled of alcohol, I'll add alcohol poisoning to our list.
But still, weird that he's not wearing clothes if he was found that way. Okay, so now what? What is this? Rigor. Okay, yeah, so was he found... Does he have rigor mortis? Can we check this?
We still have one thing left from the basics.
Okay.
Rigor mortis.
So what, you poke him? Oh, look at the little hand. It's going boop, 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 boop. Sorry. Tools. Do I... Rigor mortis? How do I do that? Form the rigor mortis? Oh, the hands.
Well,
you
We take our
unfold this,
deceased
I
by the
guess.
hand. Gradually we raise it.
There's no rigor mortis there. What? Oh. It's a little... You serious? What do I do? It needs to stay in that little bar for some reason. It goes up.
Now let it go. As you can see, the hand falls loose. What's the conclusion? Death must have occurred more than 72 hours ago. The police information appears correct.
Wait. Rigor mortis, is that only really fast after death, maybe? I'm curious. I mean, I want to look at... But my kitty's mother. Let me get my phone. No, stay. Stay. It's fine. It's... No. No. But I love you. Okay, let's look it up. Rigor mortis. Let's make a little class out of this. We can learn about the death. Okay, so apparently after 2 to 6 hours after death, the muscle starts stiffening. And depending on the temperature of the surroundings, rigor mortis lasts up to 1 to 3.5 days. So after indeed 72 hours, the body would no longer be stiff. I didn't know that. I thought once rigor mortis set in, that was just... it would just stay. Okay, we learned something today, people. Okay, so no rigor
That
mortis.
trauma seems the most promising, so we'll start there. For this, I need an oscillating saw.
We can go into the nitty-gritty.
The cut is made from ear to ear.
Oh god, is this all like... Okay.
After which, we remove the skin and the top of the skull.
Where is his skull? This is skin? Like there should be a skull here, no? He has no skull. It's the cause of death.
After the basic examination, we can see that the brain's cerebral gyri in both hemispheres are symmetric. The brain looks good. Let's take a cross-section.
Okay, sorry.
Some pathologists prefer to examine organs without removing them. However, for me, it's much more convenient to examine them on a board, which we'll do now.
Here?
Holding a long, narrow blade knife in the dominant hand, we slowly cut the cranial nerves on both sides, all the time pulling the brain towards us.
Oh god. My mouse mat is not big enough for this.
So far, so good.
Okay, so I have to put
The
my...
hematoma seems to have had no effect on the brain.
Okay, so the head trauma was not the cause of death. Why is he so... Is he freaked out?
I can't. I cannot. I need pills.